So there are some things to talk about here. And then this was from a couple of days ago, but this defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, and obviously hearing from some of the players and how just tragic this defense has been to the point where you have no pass rush. Your linebackers are taking more hits than actually pursuing the run, and you can't, and you play so much zone, and you're so cautious in this defense, and you play more prevent than anything else, that it shows that this defensive coordinator has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't whatsoever. And, players had, to say certain things. Fletcher Cox had a press conference a couple days ago. I don't get paid to cover screens, and, I get paid to be aggressive. And he feels like he's not being aggressive. And, the defensive line coach and Troy Rock I forgot his name, Tracy Rock or whatever his name is. He's going to be out the door sooner or later to get these guys prepared. This is the worst defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this is probably the worst. I mean, at least with Jim Schwartz, didn't know how to use linebackers, corners, at the end of his days. But at least we still had a pass rush at the end of the day. We still had a pass rush. This team has barely. It's either they show up or they don't show up. What happened to disguised coverages? What happened to 3-4, 4-3? Are they read and reacting? Is Jonathan Gannon telling the defensive line to read and react? Is he putting these guys in a 4-3, but he's telling them to read and react like they're in a 3-4? I don't even know what they're doing. You know what I mean? These linebackers are not running downhill. They're just not good enough, number one. Number two, they're taking way too many hits. They get blocked so easily. Your offensive line gets blocked, and then they go to the linebackers, which takes absolutely nothing, which, these running backs have averaged a lot of yards. Put all these running backs that have ran all over us. I mean, it's bad. I think, 29th or 30th in the league against the run. I mean, it's bad. And then you got to face DeAndre Swift this week again, against the Detroit Lions, the winless Lions, which is probably going to be another pathetic, embarrassing loss this week, which I don't want to happen, but it could happen. So then, obviously, Jonathan Gannon, is taking, credibility, not credibility, but, he's being humble about it's just not working out. He's going to execute these players better. But now players are coming up to him to tell him how they should be using some of these players. And it's just as a defensive coordinator, right? You run your own defense that you think is going to be successful. I'm not saying that players shouldn't come up to coaches if they want to be used a little bit differently or they have a little bit of a difference. Say, hey, I think you should maybe do this with me. I think it'd be a lot better. But, this, if we were already playing well, it wouldn't really matter. But since we're playing this bad defensively, you're a defensive coordinator that has to take all of these players' ideas of how to use them correctly. And I don't think he does. Obviously, there's some draft picks, the defensive line with some of these draft picks in Marlon, Milton Williams, Teron Jackson, some of these guys that just haven't worked out for this pass rush. Kerrigan's just a no-show. What happened to Ryan Kerrigan that we were all excited about this year? Fletcher Cox has really not shown up most of the time. Derek Barnett's a penalty machine, and I just feel like he doesn't care, and that doesn't live up to the first round expectation. I just feel like our linebackers are horrible. We have no thumper there. Our safeties are even worse in zone than they do play regular. It's crazy. I'm tired of playing the zone scheme, because the zone scheme, we're just letting these receivers get off the line, free release, run by a corner, run by a safety, free touchdown, or free big reception. That happens almost every single game at this point. You know what I mean? So they're playing prevent more than anything else because they're being more cautious. They're not giving up the big play, but I'm telling you, you don't have the linebackers and it's not, Steven Nelson, Darius Slay, and Avonte Max have been playing very well, but you're freeing up everything underneath. That turns into big chunk yards anyway. So even if you don't give up the big play, what does it even matter? So since this defensive coordinator, since Jonathan Gannon is now he's got to talk to his players, say, what should I do? I feel like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. He has no idea how to run a defense at all, period. You know what I mean? And you know what? Some players are suffering because of it. There are probably players right now that probably would have done well this year. Maybe guys that we wouldn't think that would play well. How are you supposed to evaluate? It's both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. How are you supposed to evaluate into next year? I mean, obviously there's some players that, you say, okay, we know what this player does well, but we know what this team needs. This team is high on draft picks right now, and they got to start making moves. I'm not saying right now, but, this is a failed season, and it is. How are you supposed to evaluate players into next year and that's, that's why I think Jonathan Gannon just deserves to be fired. Like, at least if he showed some flashes, I'd be like, okay, no problem. Like, there is some room, to get better. But this guy has done absolutely nothing. Other than the Panthers game, really, when you had, 3 sacks, 3 picks? I mean, really, other than that, where you actually played good football, there hasn't, besides maybe the Falcons game, there really hasn't been anything else. Obviously, besides our 2 wins, the defense hasn't done nothing. Has done absolutely nothing. Besides those, really, at the end of the day. And look, I know we can nitpick, and people are going to be in the comment section and nitpick on games where we did well, whatever. It's a loss at the end of the day. It's either the offense plays good, defense plays bad. Defense plays good, offense plays bad. It's never neutral. We can never be at least a little even or meet in the middle on both sides of the football, and that's where it pisses me off to this point. So, I don't know. I think this is a failed season, obviously, as of right now. And with Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator, it is not working out. He has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't know how to put guys in the right situation to, he made some promises, too, about fundamentals, because we still get a lot of penalties on defense. Not even just that. I think the offense is getting more penalties than the defense. But using players to their strengths, not putting a player in a certain position to fail. That's what he said in training camp. And it seems like he's doing that every single game. So, broken promises from our head coach, broken promises from our defensive coordinator. So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm really going to say about it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.